Long after his death, Jerry Garcia is still worshipped by millions of fans and musicians from around the world. In this video, I'll share with you a short but killer guitar solo that Jerry played with the Grateful Dead on the song Deal. Stick around after the performance and we'll talk about what makes the song so challenging to play over, Jerry's secret behind his ability to overcome those challenges, and the subtle layers of communication that are happening between Jerry and the rest of the band while they're on stage. In just a moment, the screen will split up into 3 parts. On this side of the screen, you'll see video of Jerry's performance. Up here, you will see my recreation of this solo. And below, you'll see guitar tablature that I've transcribed by ear, highlighting the notes that we're playing. Let's take a look at Jerry Garcia's first 2 guitar solos on the song Deal with the Grateful Dead from the 7/4/89 version in Buffalo, New York.
Don't you let that deal go down, no, no.
Let's talk about the song you just heard, written by Jerry Garcia and Robert Hunter, and first debuted in 1971. Deal is one of the more challenging rock songs to solo over. Here are the chords in the song. This is the progression that the rest of the band is playing underneath Jerry's solos. The chords you see here are essentially Jerry's canvas. Deal is full of sophisticated and beautifully written chord movements. Before we go on, keep in mind that there are multiple ways to interpret any song, and this is just one of many ways. We start off with an A chord, and then we go to a C#7 chord. This right here is a key change. Jerry likes to think of the C#7 and the F# minor chords as a 5/1 progression in F# minor. We know this by analyzing the chord tones and scales that he uses in this solo, which we'll talk about a little bit later. After the F# minor, we're back to the key of A for 2 chords. Then we have a chord D# diminished that is outside of our key of A. This diminished chord almost tricks the ear into thinking that we are going from D to E, but we're not. We're going from D back to our home chord of A. By the time we get to this A chord, we've already changed keys twice, once going from the A to the C#7, and then once going from the F# minor to the E. In the next 4 chords, we have one key change going from A to F#, then we're in the key of B, and then we modulate back to the key of A for our D chord. This leaves us with 5 key changes in just 8 measures. A song like this is challenging for many soloists because each new key presents us a different set of notes to work with. A year before this performance, Jerry sat down with Guitar Player magazine to share some of the secrets behind his approach. You need to have enough access to the fingerboard that you're not hung up about where you are. In other words, what key am I in? What scale interval am I at? You need to be able to let that go past you. I'm just getting into being able to get a good sound, regardless of the structure or mathematics. So much of the guitar is patterns, but if you look at it right, patterns start to melt into each other. Pretty soon you can hit anything from anywhere. This means that Jerry had mastered access to the fingerboard. He could play pretty much any scale or arpeggio or scale interval in any position anywhere in the neck. He put years of hard work into instilling that muscle memory. This access to the fretboard is crucial because Jerry is improvising the solo. He is composing the notes as he plays them. Let's look at how Jerry improvises the beginning of the solo. He plays an A major arpeggio over the A major chord. He plays a C#7 arpeggio over the C#7 chord, and then he targets notes of F# minor over the F# minor chord. That means that Jerry treats each of the first 3 chords as completely distinct little entities. He addresses each one like they're unique because they are. Over the E and D chords, he plays notes of the A major pentatonic while focusing on chord tones that are within the chords that he's playing over. Over the D sharp diminished chord, he chooses notes of the D sharp diminished arpeggio. When Jerry Garcia, or any soloist for that matter, is improvising a solo in a live setting, there are 3 realities or relationships they are simultaneously juggling. The first is the relationship between the soloist and the rest of the band. The second relationship is that between the soloist and the audience. And the third relationship is that between the soloist and themselves. Let's focus on the first one, the relationship between the soloist and the rest of the band. This is a real balancing act because our soloist, Jerry Garcia in our case, wants to listen and communicate with the band, and the rest of the band wants to do the same for him. To start off, Jerry doesn't automatically know how many cycles he's going to play the form. He doesn't know how long his solo is necessarily going to be, and the band doesn't know that either. It's not like they huddled backstage before the set and were like, hey guys, all right, when we play Deal, I'm going to play the solo twice, and then I'm going to go back to singing, and then we can continue on with the song. All of that information is happening real time. They're trying to figure out how long the solo is going to be and where the solo is going to go. Is it going to get louder? Is it going to get softer? What exactly is going to happen? I've heard versions of the song where Jerry's gone through the form once in his solos. I've also heard versions where he's gone through the form 4 times in his solo. Throughout the performance, Jerry is actually communicating this information to the band via music. For example, towards the end of the first solo, Jerry plays an exciting ascending lick, letting the band know that he's going in for another round of the solo. And because he came in so strong, he lets them know that this round is probably going to be a little bit more exciting and intense than the last round. And guess what? That's exactly what happens. Let's take a listen to that. The second solo really takes off, and the rest of the band compliments Jerry by increasing their intensity throughout the second solo. But how does the rest of the band know towards the end of this solo that Jerry's done improvising and ready to go back to singing the next verse? You could say that he slowly meanders back to the mic, and that's the signal. And that may be true, but it's not like all of the band members are visually fixated on him at that moment. Jerry gives a signal to the rest of the band at the end of this solo, letting them know that he's done improvising and ready to sing again by playing some chords interspersed with single notes. This is one kind of universal signal that you're going to end your solo, and one that you'll hear in all sorts of genres, from bluegrass to folk to country and jazz. This is just one aspect of how Jerry communicates with the band and the band communicates with Jerry throughout the course of an improvised solo. For any of you guitar players that may be interested, I've broken down this complete solo into several individual videos. These videos will teach you how to play the solo step by step, and you'll also learn the music theory that Jerry is using when improvising. This is a mini course that I've made available for free on YouTube. You'll find a link to the playlist in the description, and I'll also pop it up on the screen right about now. I recommend that you learn 1 lick a day rather than binging through the entire course in just one sitting. This will keep you busy and pushing your boundaries on the guitar for nearly 2 weeks or more. If you have any requests for other songs that you'd like to see analyzed in this manner, please let me know in the comments. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the mini course.